Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap here in the evening on September 19th. The Senate passed a few hours ago the $3 billion VA supplemental funding bill. And I will tell you that, look, we all pretty much felt as though that was going to happen. But here's the thing. Hang on. It's important that we be loud in times like this to show the Senate and the House that we are paying attention, that we know what is going on with regard to our benefits and so forth. I wanted to just give you a quick outline. There's a few different articles out there. I picked this one out of the Federal News Network, run through it. So now the House has passed and now passed the Senate, which I don't even know if it was unanimous consent. I'm assuming so, just because of the speed in which it had happened. And now it is off to the president. So hopefully they can get that wrangled in and signed here, I guess tomorrow, because it's what time? East Coast is 8:15 or so at the recording of this. So, I don't know what happens with all of that. So tomorrow, hopefully, that gets signed off by the president. Bam, VA gets the thumbs up and they move forward. So with that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. I'm going to read into this article now. If you want to support the channel in other ways, consider being a member. Thank you so much to all you members. I really do appreciate your support, and I do my best to get back to you in the comments. All right, so Senate passes $3 billion VA supplemental funding bill averting delay in veterans benefits. VA needed emergency funding by Friday to avoid delays in compensation and pension benefit payments that go to 7 million veterans and their survivors. And for those that don't know, survivor benefits, the two big ones are VA pension for low and no income survivors. And then you have DIC, Dependency Indemnity Compensation, which is another benefit that is not income-based, and that's an outstanding benefit. So anyway, moving on. The Senate passed a $3 billion supplemental funding bill allowing the Department of Veterans Affairs to pay veterans benefits without delay. The Senate unanimously, thank you, passed the supplemental funding bill in a voice vote Thursday. This bill now heads to President Joe Biden's desk to be signed into law. Now, as we're waiting for that to happen, here's the deal. That's still happening. The whole issue here is bigger than just this $3 billion, right? Again, it's the awareness that we have in holding these people accountable. On the publication The Hill, they have a headline here. Sorry, it's the end of the day and it's a little bit quirky. Anyway, The Hill says on their headline, Congress passes $3 billion bill to plug VA shortfall amid concerns about veterans checks. When they're saying Congress, they're talking about both sides, both the House and the Senate. Let's read a little bit about what they say here. The Senate passed an emergency spending bill Thursday to provide billions of dollars in funding for the Department of Veterans Affairs as officials warn that benefit payments for veterans are at risk of being disrupted next month absent congressional action. The Senate passed a bill with a voice vote with bipartisan support Thursday morning as VA officials warned of increased risk of benefits cliff in the coming weeks if lawmakers didn't act by Friday. The bill, which passed the House earlier this week, now heads to the White House for a signature. And again, I'm assuming we're still talking about the 20th deadline, so that's tomorrow. The measure calls for about $2.9 billion in additional funding for the VA, of which about $2.3 billion would go toward the Veterans Benefits Administration for compensation and pension. The fact that we're even having this conversation is ridiculous, but when these types of situations come up, we need to be loud so they know we're paying attention. We're often quiet and just, stand in line, toe the line, all that type of stuff. So roughly $597 million would be put toward readjustment benefits. House Veterans Affairs Committee Chair Mike Bose said earlier this week that the bill, dubbed the Veterans Benefits Continuity and Accountability Supplemental Appropriations Act, say that 7 times, would keep veterans' disability compensation and education benefits from being held up. The VA has pointed to the PACT Act, a landmark law that passed with bipartisan support in 2022, as a key driver behind the budget shortfall, pointing to increases in enrollment in VA healthcare appointments and application benefits. During a hearing Wednesday, Joshua Jacobs, the Undersecretary for Benefits for the VA, said that since the law's implementation, the agency has seen about 340,000 veterans who now are getting PACT Act, this is just the weirdest sentence, that are now getting PACT Act benefits that would not have been eligible, 60,000 of whom have cancer. So the bottom line is that we have 340,000 new veterans that are now eligible under the PACT Act, and 60,000 of those actually had some sort of cancer that was listed in the PACT Act. Now, does that mean that these veterans were not already service connected for something and then they were able to get more service connection? Or did it mean I didn't have any service connections and now I do? So new to VA or new conditions from VA? It's two different, you can slice and dice this stuff. So anyway, moving on. However, the VA has faced considerable heat from lawmakers over the shortfall as questions arise over the agency's budget management. And I am actually 100% on board with that. I think that this was a huge miss by the VA. And, at that level, that this shouldn't be happening, especially when it's within about less than 3 month time frame. The VA went from saying everything is good to, oh, by the way, we're short $15 billion. Something's off. Anyway, so the lawmakers are up in arms over this, and also with the events that preceded and came after the budget gap. Among the provisions in the bill Thursday are measures requiring the VA secretary to submit reporting to lawmakers detailing ways to improve forecasting and budget assumptions, as well as reporting on changes to estimates going forward. Keep in mind that the VA secretary is already essentially given his notice. He is gone at the end of this president's term. The VA secretary is leaving. So regardless of who's in office, there's going to be a new secretary. So whoever it is, and whoever they're appointed, whoever appoints this new VA secretary, they better have veterans' best interests in mind. Anyway, moving on. It also requires the Inspector General of the Department of Veterans Affairs to conduct a review of the circumstances surrounding the budget shortfall and the causes. However, there are still questions around how Congress will respond to another request from the VA for that additional $12 billion in fiscal 2025 for medical care amid some resistance in Congress. So in any case, thanks for watching. Wanted to bring this to your awareness as quickly as possible. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.